If fantasy and romance are what you seek, featuring heroines who aren't quite so meek, with book talk and Instagram full of deceit, simply listen to our podcast, Our Picks of the Week. It is time. I have come into my sports romance era. I read, well, okay, so let me heavy caveat on that. I listened to an audiobook of The Graham Effect.
I could not. There's no.
Okay, so The Graham Effect by Elle Kennedy. I listened to it. If it was a book, I would have DNF'd it. I would not have been able to do it. It was too, I don't know. It was fun to listen to as an audiobook. It was also the first audiobook I'd listened to that was like smut heavy, and that was a little bit weird.
Okay, so I don't have a gauge anymore for what is smut heavy.
I know. So this one, weirdly, the sex is kind of vanilla, but it happens often. So that's one of those I don't really know like where on the spice meters it would happen.
So I feel like if it's the spice meter is more for frequency.
So it's very frequent. It's mostly vanilla, but it's also a little bit descriptive. And they also, towards the end of the book, get into like a little bit of voyeurism. And like, that's not really like talked about at all.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay. So let me talk. So The Graham Effect by Elle Kennedy is set in a university, Briar University. I don't know if that's like a real school, but it's a hockey team. So the female lead, her name is Gigi Graham. She is the daughter. I know your eye roll is, I feel it in my soul.
Gigi.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fine.
But her like actual name is Gigi. Her dad is a professional hockey player who's like an all-star, most, well-known hockey player in the entire world, whatever. And so she also plays hockey, but with the women's hockey team, they don't have like an NHL equivalent or whatever. And so the best she can hope for is to go to the Olympics and play on the women's team for like a gold medal. And so that's her, heart's desire. She's been working really hard. She's on her school university's team. And she's been like scouted a bunch. And obviously with like a professional dad, she's had all these opportunities. She's rich, et cetera, et cetera. And so she is going to this university. And then the men's team has recently merged with a school nearby. The like school went bankrupt. And so their hockey programs had to merge. And so they have a bunch of really good players, but only so many slots on the team. This is on the men's team. This is all happening like simultaneously. There we go. I needed hand motions to get there. And so they had to have these like tryouts, and her ex-boyfriend Case cheated on her at the beginning of the book, and he like
any guy named Chase. I mean,
he like made out with some other girl at a party. They broke up. He's on the team. He's competing with all these other people. It's dual POV, so I already know that you're not gonna like it.
It's a dual first-person POV?
Yes.
Fuck.
I know, it's pretty bad. That's what I mean. I was able to listen to it because you can just walk away for 20 minutes and it doesn't matter.
I've read some sports romances, but like, no.
Yeah, it was, it reminded me of Legally Blonde a little bit, like very like ditzy, whatever. But yeah, so the teams merged. They're fighting for all these seats. The other male lead, his name is Ryder. I can't make this up.
Jason Ryder.
I know. Oh, God. So he's
like Flynn Ryder.
So his name is like Luke Ryder, but he goes by Ryder, and he has a like unnecessarily traumatic backstory. His dad killed his mom when he was like 6, and then he went into the foster system. And then like in the background of the book, his dad is up for parole, and he's like not willing to talk at his like parole hearing or something. There was no need for that.
Can we? Okay. Pause for a second.
Yep, that's fair.
Sports for kids can be very expensive.
Yeah.
Sports, especially like hockey, which requires a fuck ton of gear.
Yeah.
Let me censor myself. It's early. It's early in the recording session.
Fair.
Requires a lot of gear.
Yep.
So how did Mr. Foster Child wind up with a family
willing to like spend multi-thousands? So the way it's described is like he had one foster family for a couple years that was like well off, and they were willing to like, he was a big hockey nut, and so he's like, you're gonna play hockey. And then at that point he was like good enough that the coach was like invested. It's a little far-flung, but Sure.
Whatever. Fine.
He's a prodigy, whatever. And so basically him and Gigi end up being like friends with benefits, but they have to keep it on the down low, as a stress release kind of thing, because he's competing with spots with her ex-boyfriend.
Of course.
And so they both make it on the team, but it's like, I can't ruin the team dynamic by, telling this dude that I'm like fucking his ex-girlfriend because he's still in love with her. And that's basically the entire plot. But then you have all of these like random things. And I don't know why I found it fun, but like it was like cutesy in the way that, college romances kind of play out, where it's like a little bit nostalgic, a little bit silly, a little bit like this isn't real life, but like that's fun.
Some of these storylines, some of these plots, I feel are better suited for TV or movies.
Oh, 100%.
Like if you're forced to read it, you have to absorb every single word and realize how ridiculous it is.
Yep.
But if you're just watching it happen, you're like, oh, I've seen stupidity happen in real life. Sure.
Yep. Yeah. It definitely reads and is written like a reality TV show, like mixed with a little bit of, ABC Family, written for TV movie, Christmas special.
Okay, I do have to ask though.
Yeah.
Because you recently went to a professional hockey game.
Okay, so ask your question and then I will reveal something embarrassing about myself.
Okay, so was your NHL experience, did it match up with what you were reading? Was there...
There was some of them that were weirdly hotter than they probably should have been for freshmen. Like, I don't know how that works out because it's the same with like baseball too. Like, I'm a pretty like into baseball. Why are they all like weirdly hot? I don't know if they get some kind of like special injection when they get to the like MLB where they're like, okay, you're hot now.
It's the competency hotness.
Oh,
they're good at something.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Psychology check marked. Okay, didn't need that this morning.
Dr. Jordan out.
I know. Oh my god. But the other thing, my friend recommended this book because she had read a bunch of hockey romance, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Hey, so I got us tickets for a hockey game. We should go." And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of random. Like you're not totally into sports, but like sure." And she's like, also, coincidentally, I'm reading these hockey romances. Yeah. And my partner also listened to this and he thought it was stupid, but he listened to the whole thing. And he's also listened to the second book in the series. So just as a little testament of, how silly, but like consumable it is. Yeah. Not much happens plot wise. I will say the ending was a little bit disappointing. Like they ended it in a way that I was kind of like, why? But there's a really good plot twist at the end that I was listening to it and I like whipped over and I was like, what the fuck? But it's just like kind of a throwaway line. Like I feel like it should have been, hyped up a little bit more. But it was fun. This isn't my genre, so I don't have a lot of like recommendations except Legally Blonde, the movie, very similar vibes. And then also obviously a fanfic season pass to that ass. But I might be writing. It's smut, 90%, 10% plot, but you can imagine it's just a romance, like, sports romance in fanfic form. Yeah, The Graham Effect by Elle Kennedy. Oh, goodness. It was a book. I may have already borrowed 3 other hockey romances. This may be my guilty pleasure.
Okay, so I do like your qualifier at the beginning of the episode, which is, you listen to this, you didn't read it, which is not to discount people who enjoy listening to their books rather than reading them more often.
Yeah.
But I do think that there are books that just are better suited for audio consumption. So maybe don't recommend this as a book. Like this is a listening/movie experience.
Yeah, 100% only listen to this as an audiobook. I would not bother reading it. The sentences, even when you're reading it, you're like, this is very like short sentences, like very digestible. None of the vocabulary is above like 7th grade reading level at most.
Oh, no.
So it's you can listen to it, but I think you would murder someone if you tried to actually like consume it in book form.
I don't think I've listened to any fiction. I haven't listened to any audiobooks. The only audiobooks I've consumed have been like classic literature, like Jane Austen and that kind of stuff, because frankly, I don't want to read that myself anyway. I'd rather listen. So I might give it a shot as an audiobook.
Yeah. There's all of those book talk books I feel like are a little bit better as audiobooks, but there's some that even are a bridge too far. A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I could not even do it as an audiobook.
Well, from Katie's shelf to yours.
We'll see you on the next page. Hi, readers. If you'd like to help us pick our next book, send us a message on Instagram.
Or if you'd like to just listen, we post new episodes every Monday and Wednesday on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Thanks for listening.
Bussin'.